Today we're working on something called melodic segues. These are a lot of fun. They really spice up our playing. I'm going to play you a version of John Henry using the two melodic segues that we're going to learn today. I want you to listen for them, see if you can spot them. The first one sounds like this. The second one sounds like this. All right, listen up, see how many you can find. Could you spot them? I bet you could. There's a lot of them in there. Now, I played more of them than I normally would if I was playing a solo, but I wanted to show you all the different ways that we could use these. These are a lot of fun. You'll find yourself using them quite often to spice up your playing. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I'll ask you to come over to the website here in a moment to join as a Gold Pick member. There's hundreds of lessons just like this one. But if you're watching on the website as a Gold Pick member, you have everything you need right here on this page. Just scroll down, you'll find the rest of the video segments as well as the Jamtrack MP3s and the tabs to follow along with. Today we're going to learn two of these melodic segues. You're going to find yourself using them a lot once you get a grip on them. Maybe you already do, but I think I can introduce some different ways for you to use them as well. I'm going to teach these two to you. We'll learn how to play them with a little exercise. And then I want to show you how to put them into practice, how to use them to roll into various chords. Also, how to use them in your backup, because they're very, very helpful there. And then we'll take a look at that John Henry solo to see what exactly we did there. So I know that's a lot, but that's okay. We have a lot to learn. Now, as we think about the two segues, again, they sound like this at its most basic form, and this one. Now, they can almost be used interchangeably, but you're going to get a slightly different feel because you have slightly different notes. I'm going to call the first one a chromatic one. Let's go ahead and throw the tab up there so you'll see what I'm talking about. The first one is chromatic, and what I mean by that is that we're going to play every note, every half step between the notes. Okay, so if you can imagine a piano keyboard here, we're playing every black and white note in succession, at least for these three notes. So we're going to start on an E note, then play the E flat, and then the open D. That's the heart of this chromatic segue. Now, it's very, very important right off the bat that you recognize we're playing that second string note with our thumb. Now, you can play it with your index if you want, but when you're going super duper fast, I believe, and many others do as well, that it's better to reach up and grab it with your thumb. So just really slowly practice doing this. Just like we see in measure one. And once you think that you have that down, we can work it into a little repeating exercise here in measure two. I want you to put your hand up there on 2 and 4. We're using our index finger and our ring finger. And the only thing that we're going to lift is our index finger. And we want to use back and forth our middle and our thumb. And it's going to sound like this in measure 2. I know it sounds horrible going slow because we are playing these notes that are just a half step apart. And there's got all kinds of overtones. But you need to be able to get comfortable in lifting that index finger without lifting your ring finger at the same time. So being able to have some independent control there, and also being used to playing your thumb down here on the second string. And of course, you can speed that up and continue to repeat it. Now, the same thing for the melodic lick, and I call it melodic because we're not doing chromatic. We're coming down a blues scale using that dominant seventh. Okay, so the same spacing, instead of 2 and 4, now we have 3 and 5, and the same fingering on our pick hand, middle, thumb, middle. So we can do that same type of exercise here in measure 4. Now that you have those down, we need to learn how to use them, don't we? And the way that I think about using these segues is, well, that's one of the reasons why I call them segues, because I'm going to use them to get to particular notes in a different way than I might before. So if we're thinking about like a Scruggs type lick, something like this, okay, that's one way that I could handle a lick of space of time, bringing me down to that G string. Or I could do something with the same amount of time using a more melodic segue. Okay, something like that. Let's look at how they work there in measure 5. We're going to go G to G. What do I mean by that? Well, if I'm over a G chord and I'm going into another measure of the G chord, this one works great. We don't have to use it for that. This is just an example. So let's say that my target note is there in measure 6, that open G string. I could use this segue to get there. So it's going to start on the second beat. Now, how might we use this? Well, let's say that we're playing a song that begins on that open G string, and we're going to walk into it. So you might do something like this. Okay, so instead of doing that quarter note walk in, we could do this. Pretty cool, huh? Or again, if we were playing along and we get finished with our regular G lick, we could do something like this. It just throws a little bit of a melodic flavor in there where we might be used to playing more Scruggs type stuff or quarter note walk-ins. Let's take a look at another example in measure 7. This is going to a target note of the low D string, right down there. So if you'll notice, the only thing that we really modify are the last couple notes of the lick. Now, if you took a song like I Saw the Light, okay, so the way that I kick that off, I might do something like this. But now I could go. Or you could use it in the middle of the song. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So anytime that we're going to go down to that low D string and we have those 3 beats, we can use something like that. Now, where this really comes in handy, where it gets to be a lot of fun, is when we're moving from the G to C chord and from the G to E minor. And then I also want to show you how to use it playing backup, especially if you have a long string of measures that are over the same chord, like 4 or 6 or 8 measures of C. You can use this lick to begin to spice up your regular C chord rolls. And then we'll look at John Henry. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, come on over to the site. Join as a Gold Pick member to see the rest of this lesson. If you're watching here on the site, just scroll down, click on the rest of the video segments.